My name is Adekunle Kay Rufai. I am a photographer, poet, filmmaker, and mental health researcher, and also the founder of the Smiling Boys Project. So to describe myself in 3 words, the words I would choose are positive, open-minded, and playful. So yeah, the Smiling Boys Project is evidently my baby, but the kind of inception of the project is, as I kind of touched on much earlier, the idea that as a young Black boy, growing up and seeing, I guess, the narratives that surround what it means to be young and Black in this context in the UK or in America, both places, and realizing that I wanted to create something that really spoke directly to that. I wanted to show a counter narrative to what people perceive Black boys to be, because I know Black boys to be joyous, to be cheeky, to be witty, to be fun. So what inspires my fashion style? What's really interesting, the earliest memory I have is I saw a picture some time ago of my 7-year-old self in a purple suit, and I said, damn, Ma, you know I was always fly. But what that really reminded me of is I had this penchant for being very expressive from a young age, but being in a very kind of traditional Nigerian patriarchal socialized culture, at some point that was kind of killed. This idea that I was young and I wanted to wear fresh, colorful things. I remember my mother always saying, people are going to think that you're gay, people are going to think you're this, people are going to think you're that. And that really kind of sheltered the way that I had the freedom in my kind of early teens to like very early 20, express myself. And I kind of started to revert back to that authenticity around the time when I realized that, you know, all these constructs of being in university and doing these things my mother wanted me to do was something that was not conducive to who I authentically was. So I broke out of that, you know, the kind of first decision to drop out of university, and I started to expand my color palette because that felt more authentic to me. So I think kind of reverting back to the authenticity that is myself, colors is so connected to that, because as I said, from the earliest kind of visual memory I have of myself wanting to pick out things that were so colorful and flamboyant, which is also very interesting as a Nigerian, you know, because that is naturally how we express ourselves traditionally, and also, you know, back in the kind of days of indigenous Nigerian expression. So reverting back to that feels so much more authentic, feels so much more natural, and ultimately, obviously, because of the work that I do, which ultimately challenges the way that Black masculinity is also portrayed, it also perfectly aligns with who I am, which ultimately aligns with the work that I do as well. One word of advice for emerging creatives and activists is to definitely listen to what your true voice is. Because I heard a lot of people who jump on whatever the wave is. You know, it's cool to talk about climate now, and then you jump on that, you start talking about that. And ultimately, if it's not authentically what your voice is, and it's not true to who you are, then it feels disingenuous. So for me to really have an impact in the field of activism or any kind of authentic expression, you have to really hone in on what your voice is.